Good evening, everyone. This is Mitch. Hope you all are having a great day as we're beginning to get to the end of the work week. It's been a very long work week for me, I know personally, but there's some things to talk about. We continue to be in a very boring stretch of weather, especially if you live in the southeast. That's mainly who I'm talking about. In fact, I just mentioned on Twitter, I can't think of a more boring for some. You can use the word slow for others, but it's been a very slow period of weather. It's not a whole lot to talk about. This seems to be common around this time of the year sometimes. But I tell you what, last May was a lot more active for the southeast than this May has. It's just been very slow. You don't have much in the way of storms to talk about. There's just not a whole lot going on. But there is some things to talk about. It's active weather going on in the south central U.S. right now as we begin to get to the final days of a very active period, severe weather-wise. We've been in a very active pattern the last week and a half, 2 weeks out there, but it's beginning to wind down now. But there is some severe weather to talk about potentially for tomorrow, so we're going to talk about that. We're also going to start to talk about and break down the potential for maybe some not so good news for people who love warm weather. Everybody likes a good hot weekend on Memorial Day weekend to get out there and swim and things like that and celebrate the day. And but I don't know if we're going to have that for a lot of people. So we're going to talk about that. But if you guys have not subscribed, definitely hit the subscribe button. Growth is incredibly slow right now. And I promise you guys the content will get better. Live streaming will become more appealing for the audience. Yesterday was a train wreck as far as the live streaming. But like the video if you like it. Definitely hit the subscribe button. And thank y'all for this incredible support. Also, I saw a comment yesterday. And I appreciate how some of the people take up. It's like they take up for me, and it's really appreciated. Somebody put on one of the videos yesterday, they're all like, what did they say? They put like a timestamp on it, and they said, this is when the weather starts. And they were basically taking a shot at me saying that I was taking too long to actually get to the actual weather part of the video. I do want to mention, guys, I do have a little bit of an intro. I'll talk about some things, and I have more of a personal connection with my audience, or the people who do watch my videos. So I like to talk to you guys like y'all are right in front of me. So, if y'all don't like that, I'm sorry. It's not going to be like that every video, but I also like to do things like offer anybody who needs prayers, drop it in the comments. I like to do that too. So, let's talk about the weather now so I don't irritate anybody else with that. And so let's get going here. So an active day potentially tomorrow. A big old little area of marginal stretching all the way from New Mexico all the way to the coast here in Virginia. And there's a little highlight area of a slight risk too. So we're going to watch this. There's going to be a line of storms along a cold front whipping its way through the eastern U.S. It's even going to make it all the way into the Carolinas, even in Atlanta. The thing is, it's going to begin to break apart. But I do think areas who have not seen a lot of rain, like the Georgia, the Carolinas, I do think y'all will have a chance at some rain with this, but it's going to be falling apart. The tornado threat, it's not very high. But I tell you what, this little area in Virginia, got to watch out for this area tomorrow. I really think there'll be some nasty weather in that area, right? Basically anywhere in Virginia, but specifically from Charlottesville to Richmond. Anybody in basically north central Virginia will have a chance for some strong storms along a boundary where the warm front's going to set up. There's going to be a brief spike in Cape, and the surface temperatures are really going to rise, and the dew points are going to get in the 60s. So that opens up the possibility for some isolated damaging wind threats with storms. But let's check out what the latest long-range HRRR model shows. This is what I'm talking about. This is the cold front. This is finally going to get moving. We're going to get some nasty weather overnight tonight through Arkansas into Tennessee, and we get into the morning hours. Whatever's left of this severe line of storms is going to kind of dwindle away. But then the heating of the day, it's going to refire this energy. Maybe some nasty storms in Texas outside of Dallas tomorrow. But notice these line of storms gets going. But notice this area right here. I'm going to zoom into you guys in Virginia here in a second. I'm going to go through this. But notice this line of storms moving over the Appalachian Mountains into Georgia, into the Carolinas, but watch how it kind of falls apart. So I know for me in Columbia, South Carolina, I'm really hoping this kind of holds together long enough to get some rain late tomorrow night, because we really need some more rain. I got 0.03 of an inch of rain the other day, and I called that lucky. But let's zoom into Virginia real quick. Let's quickly talk about them. if it would, pull up here. Here we go. So as we're getting into the afternoon hours, the morning hours, and the afternoon hours, there's going to be a boundary that sets up right in here. A warm front's going to rise into Virginia, and somebody's going to get a nasty storm here outside of Charlottesville. Maybe Charlottesville points east, so could see some nasty weather before the main energy pops up. Some isolated multicellular storms could really pop up and produce a really quick damaging wind threat. So I really think there will be an isolated threat for severe storms here in Virginia tomorrow. If you notice, this is temperatures in the morning, but look how they spike up into the upper 80s and 90s. But they don't. But you notice, see right here in north central Virginia, it's in the 80s, pushing 90 degrees. But you go into southern areas of Pennsylvania, and you're only in the 50s at the same time. So there's a sharp boundary right here setting up here, and that's going to aid and open the door for some strong storms for sure. But really, let's talk about this really quick, and I'll talk a little bit more about this tomorrow too. I'm showing the eastern U.S. as a general. This is the GFS, the current one. Check this out. So we're getting into Friday, another hot day across the southeast again. All right, guys, my little girl, my youngest little girl, wanted to get into the video. You see her little head right here, but we're going to keep going talking here. It's going to be a hot day tomorrow across the southeast, but you notice this boundary setting up, rain-cooled air right up here. It is very chilly. It's going to be a chilly Friday, a chilly start to your Memorial Day weekend. And but down here in the south, it's pretty hot. But in the middle, like if you're in Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, you're going to almost be like a spring day here with rain moving in. Let's get this in motion here because I clicked off and now it's not. But you're starting to get into Saturday. So overnight Saturday, overnight Friday into Saturday. Notice the cooler air gets even closer. These are lows in the 40s, 40s and 50s, 40s, almost 30s here in Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania. A chilly morning, even for late May standards in the Ohio Valley. But you notice it's still warm as the cooler air has not worked its way through. And then you get high temperatures for the Saturday time frame. Still a very warm day for areas like South Carolina, most of Georgia, and Alabama, Mississippi. But you notice there's a trough digging right here. Look at this. So the same areas that were in the 80s and close to 90 degrees in Virginia might have highs in the 50s to 60s in Virginia. So it's very impressive. It looks like some cold air damming is setting up. You get overnight Saturday into Sunday. These are low temperatures for Sunday. So you're waking up Sunday morning and temperatures are into the 50s almost all the way to the Gulf Coast. So chilly but a refreshing morning. So basically what I'm getting at is it looks like the Memorial Day weekend besides Saturday for some folks is going to be more spring-like than summer-like. But these are highs Sunday, right around highs. Highs in North Carolina Sunday might only get into the 50s and 60s for some folks like Raleigh. You guys might be trapped in the 60s, maybe even the upper 50s. It's going to be definitely a little chilly. But places like South Carolina, maybe the northern half of the state could potentially be in the 60s and 50s Sunday. Not the 50s, but more like the 60s and 70s. And the southern half of the state might be closer to the 80s to maybe 90. So I think there's going to be a tight gradient for certain areas. So it's going to be impressive to watch here for sure. But look at the Northeast for Sunday. Trapped in the 40s. Even in the coast, like it just might be a raw day, a raw weekend for areas of the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast. Just more like a spring weekend. But you get into Monday, another crisp morning, Memorial Day. So your Memorial Day morning is probably going to be pretty crisp across the entire eastern U.S. except maybe Texas as warming begins to occur. But highs Monday will be much higher compared to Sunday. But still, I want to mention this is dew points. So dew points, when you get dew points in the 40s and 50s, that's a crisp air. It's almost like a fall air mass. When you're in the 60s and 70s, it's very humid. So these are dew points. So notice dew points as you're getting into Sunday, they're dry. You're not going to have any humidity really in the entire eastern U.S. It's even got some pretty low dew points even here and down here in Florida. You notice you're still getting to Monday morning, Memorial Day, and it's going to be in the 70s and 80s, sure, but it's not going to be hardly any humidity unless you're in Texas. So it's going to be more so not like this weekend. It's going to be more like a spring weekend. It's gonna feel nice. But that's all I got, guys. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll hope some more interesting weather. Obviously, no weather that's going to negatively impact anybody. But this is my little girl Adeline. Say hey, baby. So that's all I got, guys. Y'all have a blessed evening.